11 rounds have passed so far this season, and we head now to an early climax. While the end of the season is still a couple rounds away, we are going to be eliminating majority of the field here tonight, and we'll be left with only 12 drivers that will be chasing the glory of a championship here for the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. And what better place than to have that elimination round than at Talladega. Hello, folks. My name is Finney Nakuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy for yet another round of this series. Guys, glad to have you back in the booth with me as we get ready for some heart-stopping action here at Talladega.
Yeah, heart-stopping is the best way to describe it. We've seen it already in our two races we've watched this week. We see some crazy action, crazy crashes, and some crazy twists and turn of events for sure. And tonight's going to be no short of that, no doubt about it. The same sort of field that we got tonight, and same sort of scenario where you got drivers that are locked in, you got drivers that are barely in, then you got drivers on the outside looking in that likely need something to happen tonight. But other than the last two races we've watched at Talladega, a little bit different scenario for the guys below the cut line, Hunter. Not much of a chance for those guys to really point in. It's really win or go home tonight.
For most of them, it is. There's only 30 drivers here tonight. So looking at the points, Casey Lakatos, the last driver in on points, he could still mathematically be eliminated without anyone from the outside in getting the win. So he's 27 points to the cutoff line, so he could still finish 30th. And Garrick Ranner, Mason Kane, even Bryce Senesac, they could finish 1, 2, 3 in any of those spots. They could get in, but really you're going to have to win to get in. And we're seeing a lot of these guys are locked in, only 3 locked in with the win. Skyoli, Hearn, and Anna Stock. Hearn won Tuesday night for the Truck Series, so interesting to note there. Munsell, Beckner, Therian, Furness, and Bell locked in on points. Weishart, Hartz, Weaver, still good, but not locked in just yet. And then you got guys like I said, Eric Grant, Mason Kane, Bryce Senesac, Tom Bourne, even guys like Fambro, Rabel, Jordan Martin, and Austin Gack-Jones, they could still get into the postseason with a win here, Finian, as we got qualifying going on. But before we do that, let's take a look at the team standings. As no surprise there, David Wise dominating. So you can see all the win stickers.
I was going to say they're doing very well for themselves this season. I'm sure they're enjoying the dominance. The rest of the team's not so much, but Sky Motorsports is still hanging in there. They're less than 100 points behind, and they've been fairly consistent to keep up with David Weishart Racing. So with the rest of the season to go, things might turn around in their favor. Then you got Slaughter Sim Motorsports, RLC, and Physicus rounding out your top 5. But as Hunter mentioned, we got qualifying down on the track, and a couple drivers already getting out there. David Weishart, I could see, already warming up in his 33 machine.
Weishart trying to, likely very, very safe, but still need to make sure he gets a good finish and wants a good run just to have momentum towards the playoffs, if anything. New number font, for what I remember, on this 33 Xfinity Series car tonight. And you can see he's in the yellow there as he gives a wave to the crowd, every one of his fans. He's going to go out for a lap here. One lap once again. He's one of those drivers in yellow, which means you're in, but you're not very safe.
No, and I think for him, really, I'm curious to see what he's going to plan, if he plans on just going out there and just winning and sealing the deal, or if he's going to play it a little bit more conservative tonight, just to see him, just make sure everything turns out in his favor. But riding up high, starting his lap, will be one of the first drivers across the line.
Yeah, not much to qualifying here, obviously. You run the top through 3 and 4, and then just let the car come down to the bottom, entering the corner on its own. Any blip of the wheel, any slight crookedness of it, and you'll lose a valuable hundredths, even thousandths of a second. So got to be very precise. You know the drill here at these super speedways.
And looking through here over the last 3 races, or the first 3 races, I should say, for area in the Pro Series at this track, the only driver to win from the pole was Ryan Swan, and that was in a chaotic last lap finish back in Season 2. And if you want to lead the most laps, you can certainly do that. It's not going to guarantee you the victory. The average laps led by the winner 4 laps, and that was 8 for Swan back in Season 2. And last season, Beckner only led 3 laps and got the win. And then in Season 1, Alan Balancino only led 1 lap, and that was the most important one. So a lot of wild cards here, and including Brad Slaughter, not very happy with the time.
Yeah, I was going to say it was funny, too, because he came across the line with his hands in the air.
I'm disappointed, too, because where'd the jacket go?
Yeah, he had the jacket and he had the sunglasses before. Yeah, he's looking really, really on point. Had some cool drip earlier.
He had the North Wilkesboro fit on. He put on the glasses, and I was like, yes, she will be home by 9 o'clock. That's the fit he's got on right now.
The two sides of Brad Slaughter, ladies and gentlemen. We saw the other side. Maybe you'll see him later if he wins.
Yeah, but only second for him at the moment. Greg Mitchell enjoying a solid provisional pull at the moment in the number 2 car. Again, not a whole lot too qualifying here for these drivers. Not a huge amount of importance. It really depends if you want to be up there, run in front the whole race, or again, for a lot of the guys that really do need a solid finish out of here, might see them try to run towards the back. This is one man that really doesn't matter no matter what he does, because James Kelly's been dominating this season.
Yeah, it could be. We saw Monday night, it was all that chaos for a Jake Nichols win. Tuesday night, a little bit of chaos. Cameron Hearn got his second win of that season, I believe, and we could be in for another chaotic race, but it could also be another James Scarley win. He knows how to get it done. He knows how to at least stay at the front at these bigger plate tracks, super speedway tracks. He crossed the line first at Atlanta, taken away from him, so he's no stranger to finishing first at these tracks, but it's going to be a lot tougher to do at a track so much bigger and just a lot more variability from Talladega compared to Atlanta.
Well, there weren't too many people who thought that Jake Nichols was going to win the Cup race Monday night, but he found a way to win in the most controversial way, first or second most controversial way this season. As we see Casey Lakatos there, qualified 8th, Austin Gack-Jones going to be one to watch out for, but one of the drivers involved in that finish was Jacob Bell, and I don't know if anyone has picks set yet, but he's also going with himself in retrospect, Bell, as in Matthew Bell, to win the race tonight.
Taking a look at Justin Munsell here riding on the track in the number 6 machine, getting out there to qualify a lap. There he is on camera. Coming through the trial, will be starting his lap.
And he's one driver who has had a great season in the Pro Series. That's why he's pretty much locked in. I think he is locked in on points, but he's looking for some better luck this week. Fast. He was leading Tuesday night. The yellow came out. He was the leader, and then all of a sudden the truck comes out from the inside of the infield and destroys his chances at making the playoffs in a truck series. And all I could think of was the disbelief on his face after that happened. So he's looking for some better luck in this Raycon Supra tonight, and he's got the speed to do it.
Well, he has us pick as Matthew Bell for the pole, not for the race. I didn't know that it was.
You just pressured him into picking him for the win too.
Well, this is the interesting thing, though, is right because normally for a lot of our picks at most other tracks, we'll pick guys. Usually, it starts in the top 5, top 10, maybe an outlier here or there. But pretty much Talladega, you can pick anyone throughout the entire field. And at some point, though, near the front, we definitely saw that with the Cup Series, with how chaotic the drafting is there as Munsell comes across the line. Yeah, and a solid lap. Second, just 10,000ths of a second shy of pole from Greg Mitchell.
Oh, wow. Over in the Twitch chat, it's absolute insanity. Someone bet all their channel points on Matthew Bell to win the pole.
Oh, no. That's not gone out yet?
I thought it was for the, I guess I should have looked. That was on me. It says who will win the pole. I thought it was for the race.
He might not even get a lap down.
If you're going to get a lap, he has to go now. Actually, no, it's only one lap, so he has about maybe 30 seconds. Shane Abbey.
Someone has a gambling problem.
Shane Abbey to the pole.
Yeah, through all that, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, Shane Abbey put a really good lap down. Almost got into the 53-second bracket, but he got pulled by 200ths of a second. That's a decent bit for a track like Talladega.
I'll say the track record here was set by Ryan Swan, 53.946. So these guys are running pretty close lap times to where they could break it. But only time will tell, and there's the 31 of Mason Kane. And look at that paint scheme. Got the Robbie Gordon look going.
Yeah.
Back to the throwback.
It's been a while since I've seen this paint scheme. I love that. I think it was, AT&T? Or Singular and AT&T?
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Been a while. It's been since Darlington. That was, I guess that was 2 months ago at this point. So, it counts. This is not slow down. This is Jordan Martin going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, not slow-mo. It's him just kind of riding around. And we've seen this a couple times. Oh, he's actually already made an attempt, so he's just having fun, I guess?
Well, this is his first lap. I think he's just making
No,
sure.
he has made 2 attempts. I'm showing it on
He's,
the timing screen. He attempted
Is
it.
he getting the Larson line going?
I guess.
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean,
He's literally the only other person on the track. That's why I'm like watching him right now. No one else there. No one else is running a lap. Looks like a lot of other drivers are deciding to start from the back, including Matthew Bell.
including Matthew Bell.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, whoever bet on Matthew Bell. But yeah, you're gonna be very disappointed.
Well, I'm
Nowhere
gonna
close
come
to
away
pole.
with,
No.
away with the good bit of channel points thing, because I put other for the options were Scioli, Hartz, Matthew Bell, John Furness, or other. But I thought it was for the race. I lucked out in the end, but holy cow!
I would
that
definitely
is
pick
a way to
other
lose
because
the
does
season.
other apply to any other driver?
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
Oh, I would
Shane
totally
Adams,
very
Greg
easy. That's a
Mitchell.
very easy pick in my eyes.
I was
all
gonna
the
do that
above.
for the race, but I lucked out.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess that would be a perfect segue into the Area iRacing Twitch. So, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel for only $5 a month. You can watch all area broadcasts commercial free, and you can use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat. You'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, and you can earn more by betting in the Twitch chat. And well, if you bet other, then you won, which that was me. So I won. Shane Abbey's going to be on pole, but Greg Mitchell is going to be on the front row as well. Munsell and Sogok and Slaughter, guys. Tough field to keep an eye on for up front.
Yeah, definitely be something to keep an eye on here as qualifying is complete. Got a little bit of a warm-up session. So I guess since we have the time, gentlemen, who are your picks to win this race?
My pick's gonna be other. I'm picking everyone except who's in the main poll. I haven't checked it yet, but I think we're going to get a wild winner. We have seen normal winners this season, this week for the most part. Jake Nichols, obviously, and Cameron Hearn. The win itself was anything but normal, the way he got to the lead, but still not, I would say, an upset winner. But I think we do see someone who not usually a winner get the win tonight. And dare I say, I think someone's going to win their way into the playoffs. 13th on back, someone's winning this race.
It has that feeling like it could happen. Looking through at guys who really need a win to get in. Garrett Grant hasn't been in victory lane in a long time, but then I look at Jordan Martin, who's 19th in points. And oddly enough, he in the Cup Series in Season 2, he went from 19th in the Cup standings, and with the win, got himself locked into the postseason. So maybe this could happen 2 times again, but I'm going to be looking out for Mason Kane in that 31 car. I feel like with the paint scheme he's got, it's destined to go to victory lane.
I think that's a solid choice. I'm looking here trying to see who I think might be able to get it done. I'm going to go with Travis Beckner. I know he's already locked in technically on points, but I've seen what he's seemed to be pretty good at these super speedway races, and I think he's going to be my pick, but again, I think for all 3 of ours, it could really be anyone in the field, especially a lot of the guys on the outside looking in. Connor, I kind of feel it too, but I don't know. I feel like Travis Beckner's probably going to want to take it, but we very much can see a lot of these guys on the outside looking in just throw an absolute Hail Mary, because at this point, what do they have to lose?
Absolutely nothing. Hey, you're in or you're out. You win or you're done for. So it's really going to make or break your season whether you can win here or not, and maybe mount a playoff run. That's something I'm going to be looking towards for a bunch of these drivers to be able to do that. Tom Bourne's one guy I look at very high up in the truck points. Have a good season there, but if he can get a win here tonight, maybe kickstart his playoff run for the Pro Series, that would be big as well. I'm looking at Tom Bourne, and I think what I'm going to go with my main pick, Colin Fambro. I think he can do what he has to do to win at these tracks, and I think he's going to do it tonight. And also, he's got the paint scheme to go with it. I can't bet against him.
All right, well, as we got our picks in, fans, let's go through your starting grade lineup presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Race fans, start your engine with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code Area iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Starting on pole for tonight, it's going to be Shane Abbey on the inside. He's going to be leading the field off. Greg Mitchell, he almost had pole position, but just fell short of it, lining up in second place.
Third place, Justin Munsell. Row two drivers who are locked in, Munsell, and then the Daytona winner who's been riding that all the way to the playoffs is Justin Anasogak.
Moving on back in behind them, row number 3, it's going to be Brad Slaughter Jr. on the inside in the number 9. One of the drivers that needs to race his way in. James Scully locked in next to him in the number 7 in 6th.
Chris Rabel on row number 4 starting in the 7th position. Alongside him is going to be the 64 of Ed Robertson.
Moving on back to 9th place, it's going to be David Weishart in the 33. Next to him, Casey Lakatos in 10th in the 50 car.
Chaz Beckner's been causing some problems this week. We'll see if he can get to the top point tonight, however. He starts 11th alongside the Truck Series winner this week, Cameron Hearn.
Moving on back to 13th, it's going to be Garrett Grant in the number 5. Next to him, Tom Bourne in 14th. It is Toyota Supra in the 16 car.
Familiar Evil Controller Supra of Shane Theriot starting in the 15th position alongside that 20. A new paint scheme, I believe, for Ryan Swan.
Moving on to the next row, it's going to be Colin Fambro in 17th in the 18 car. Next to Mason Kane in the 31 in 18th.
One of those last few drivers barely inside the top 20, Austin Gack-Jones, needs a win. Starts 19th, tied on time with Nick Silver, who almost had the win on Monday night.
Moving on next to them, it's going to be Bryce Senezak rolling off in 21st place. Next to him, in the 09. Jacob Hudson next to him in the 96th and 22nd.
23rd place, it's Swerve Paul Irvin. Not the season he's been looking for. We'll try to get a bright light onto this season. He starts 23rd. Matthew Bell already locked in, didn't qualify, and also cost someone a lot of channel points by doing that. He starts 24th.
You're getting into a lot of the drivers that didn't qualify back here. Brian Hart's one of them in the 3 car in 25th. John Furness locked in the 28 in 26th. He's got nothing to lose there. He's rolling off from the back.
Then Jordan Martin in the 27th position needs a win himself, theirself as well. Alex Weaver, 28th, right on that point bubble with a cushion points-wise, but can't be too safe. 62 car finish, 2nd in Daytona.
Moving on to 29, Steve Durham in the number 1. Andrew Santo is next to him in 30th in the number 10 car.
Jeffrey Wilson starts 31st, and Michael Muhammad starts 32nd. The battle for 28th will be fierce between Muhammad and Durham tonight.
Moving on next to our final starter will be Matthew Cochran in the number 4, rolling off in 33rd place. Well, that is your starting lineup, guys. Field rolling through turn 4. We'll see how this is going to play out. Will we see this go green all the way? Will we have a few wrecks on the way? It really depends, though. There's quite a lot riding on the shoulders of some drivers entering into tonight. We'll see if it'll all come to a head. For some of them, they're going to probably do whatever it takes to get themselves into the next round and try to have a chance at the championship trophy at the end of this season. But for now, Shane Abbey will be leading them down through the tri-oval, just past it to get to the start-finish line, and we are green here at Talladega. Onto the back straightaway, Greg Mitchell is going to take the lead, and as you can see right there, Justin Anasogak is going to jump to the inside, trying to take the lead away from him. Double file at the moment, so Shane Abbey relegated back to 3rd place, and there you see James Scully up from 6 places on the 2nd car on the outside lane, trying to get that going.
Yeah, Anasogak, no stranger to leading at these plate tracks. The winner at Daytona, trying to get to the front, but he's not going to lead the first lap. The outside lane, big push from the 7 of Scioli, who also got a push from Brad Slaughter Jr. as it's Greg Mitchell leading the first lap of this race.
You see Cameron Hearn. Oh, sorry, Gunnar.
I was going to say, yeah, Cameron Hearn is in that 3rd lane trying to get something going, but not having too much luck. Going to have Mason Kane behind him, though, but it's that middle lane being led by Mitchell that's dominating so far.
Yes, because they got a good thing going at the moment. Some might argue 3rd lane might be a little bit too early for that. We're only on lap 2. Oh, and speaking of that middle lane, there is Greg Mitchell being left out to dry. James Scully going to move down to the bottom. Brad Slaughter Jr. pushing him in behind.
Definitely coordinated there. They got clear of Shane Abbey and immediately went for it, so Mitchell will not lead 2 laps in a row. Anasogak wants to lead that 2nd lap, however, but he won't get the run in time. Scioli to the front of the field. Who's expected that?
Now Slaughter looking to go to the front. He's going to make the move to the outside as we're in car with the number 9. He Again, a push there from Anna Sogok, so maybe that was a little coordinated as they're going to jump in front of the two in Mitchell, and now it's Slaughter and Anna Sogok leading that middle line.
He'll take the lead. Will he stay up there with the 88 or go back down to the bottom to control it? We'll have to see what he decides to do. And in the back, I see more movement. Ryan Swan now trying to go up by himself. No luck, no dice for him at the moment. You really need someone, at least one partner to tangle with, arguably 3 or 4 cars to really get something going.
I think the sweet spot for the third lane is about 3 to 4 cars. You can get it done with a tandem up there, but it is a little bit more difficult on your temps for your engine. 3 or 4 cars get up there, they'll get to the front as long as they're the right 3 or 4 cars. Cameron Hearn's one of those. He can make that top line work. He did it all night, Tuesday night as well.
Swan sporting the new HyperX Tim the Tapman paint scheme, going all out for tonight's race as he's looking to add another win to his Pro Series career here. But up front, still Skyoli on the bottom, being pushed by Abby, and Slaughter in the middle, being pushed by Anna Sogok.
Yeah, it looks like both lines have calmed down at the moment. Everyone kind of getting sorted out. Double final looking a little bit further back. Trying to see if anything interesting happened. Jeffrey Wilson has been trying to drive his way forward in the number 98 machine. Started all the way back in 30th, is on a slow climb forward, only sitting 18th place.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers who starts at the back and gets their way to the front, as opposed to the drivers who start near the front and go to the back. Cameron Hearn's actually one of those. He started 12th. He is barely inside the top 30 right now, and he's really one of the only few that have dropped that far. Fambro, Gak, Joan have done the same. But no one's dropped to the very back like the 67 has.
And Mason Kane still that lone car now going to merge back on that middle lane. Still the only one trying to get that outside lane rolling that's close to the top 10. There are some guys in the back trying to get that outside lane going, but to no avail as you can kind of see it in the back. They're close to, I want to say 25th or so on the track. That is Cameron Hearn. He's falling all the way back. He's got Swerve and Irvin in front of him. They're trying to get back to the front.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if this is strategic for Cameron Hearn to get back here and just kind of sit around, wait for things to go on, or if he's actively trying to get someone to go with him to the front. I think maybe, I was going to say a mix of both, but that doesn't really make much sense. So I guess he's kind of hanging out here for now. Yeah, there's not a whole lot these guys need to really worry about. They've got 84 laps, we're only on lap 6. So as long as they're really maintaining his main pack, that's the key thing. John Furness is down uphill lane.
I was about to ask that.
Oh, he missed the start. That's what you can see. I don't have anything up for him. It's because he did not roll off with the grid. So he's rolling off. He will be 5 laps down. So I don't know what exactly he is going to be driving out there for, but he's going to try, I guess.
Get enough yellows that are that non-costly.
I hope we don't have that many yellows.
Yeah, he's done this before. Don't know the reason, but hope everything's good with him, and he will get points. There's something to him as he'll get back on track. He'll, like you said, he'll be 5 down. He'll likely go 6 down. Not too much longer from now, but he does at least get on track. It does give us 33 cars in this race.
And I was going to say, last season's race, it went caution-free. We didn't have a single caution at all, so it was a interesting finish to the very end. But I'm just saying, it could happen, and back to Cameron Hearn, his strategy of riding in the back, it worked out for him Tuesday night. He only led 1 lap, and that was the checkered flag lap. Went from 13th on the backstretch, slice and dice, broke Slaughter's ankles, and took the win away. So it could very well happen again, but Slaughter looking to avoid that, as after the controversy on Monday night, we have the caution light cam. That was very, very much needed addition after that happened somehow for the second time. And looking to the outside and going towards the back, it's Ed Robertson.
Yeah, I guess he's decided he's had enough of the shindig near the front. He's decided to drop a little bit further on back, just kind of wait things out, play it a little bit more patiently. I would really argue up until we get to those final rounds of pit stops. A lot of the fighting early on, maybe not exactly worth it. I think you're definitely going to want to keep yourself there. And again, for the guys that are already locked in, guys, quite a few guys near the front, guys like James Scioli or Anna Sogak or Munsell, they're locked in. Doesn't really matter what happens with this race. You can just go up there and have a lot of fun. And I'm sure there's also quite a bunch of other guys right here that they would never want to sit in the back. They want to be up there driving as hard as possible.
Yeah, you can see the guys at the front right now who are trying to drive pretty hard. The 7 and the 9 leading this field all the way down into turn number 1, as they have pretty much since lap 2. They've been in control of this field. Skyly and Abby on the bottom, and then Slaughter and Anna Sogak on the top. They're making it work right now, but still not seeing a third lane. Everyone's being patient as far as that goes, but we're seeing a few drivers trying to get up there. Swerve, Paul Irvin, and Cameron Hearn trying to get that third lane. It's always Cameron Hearn trying to get that third lane to work. He's always the first one to try it, and he usually gets some friends up there by the end of the race.
He must have been really good in science because he's really good with experimenting, but slowly making progress. He was on a charge towards the front, but him and Irvin have kind of stalled right around in the 16th position, or actually I want to say 20th. It's right around where Ryan Swan is, but they're going to tuck back in line. They did make up a good bit of ground, though, so it did work to some avail. And that is Shane Abbey now on the outside. No, that is not. That's Matthew Bell. Bell now on the outside trying to get that third lane rolling.
I was going to say, he may disappoint a lot of people not qualifying on pole, but let's see if he can try to finish in first. Here he's up there by himself, actually working pretty okay at the moment. He's got someone coming up behind him in the subway machine. This is 62, that's Alex Weaver, trying to work his way up. And there was one driver that decided to come up and leave, and that was Steve Durham. He thought about it, thought once, thought twice. He's going to come back down into that middle lane. And actually Bell went down there as well, so it's just Weaver stuck on the top.
Furness came back down pit lane. I can only assume at this point it's issues hardware-wise or something along those lines. So he'll probably finish 33rd. That is disconnect. So most definitely will finish 33rd, having issues as field down to 32, but still no damages to cars yet. As Slaughter and Skyly still dominating, and as they keep trying that third lane, Irvin and Hearn to go back up there again, they're just not getting enough momentum.
No, not quite. They're still trying to work the groove out and try to get some more drivers from this front 17 or so to come up front, but that's not going to be the case, as Paul Irvin there sitting, going to tuck back in line right behind the 43 of Bell, and then the 67 of Hearn still following in pursuit. Right below him is the 96 of Jacob Hudson, who got caught up in a crash last week at Indianapolis with nowhere to go. Him and Gak Jones collided, and that ended up being the last yellow of the race, but it was very early on, and Hudson looking for a bounce back here at Talladega.
Yeah, for Hudson, pretty much stationary from where he started. A whole lot of movement. Started 22nd and 21st, so just kind of riding out there, again, biding his time. Has been as low as 27th, has really gone up, but has only been as high as 19th. Up near the front, not a whole lot changing. Scully and Brad Sauter in control of this race. And more or less, same guys that started in the front are there. Shane Abbey or Pole Sitter still sitting happily in fourth at the moment. Second on that inside lane, Munsell and Mitchell there, so not a whole lot of changes here. A couple guys that have made some decent forward progress. Nick Silver has moved up 11 spots from 20th, and Ryan Hartz has moved up quite a few spots, plus 14 from 25th.
I think we're starting to see that third lane finally get enough formality in it to maybe make a charge here. It seems like Hearn and Irvin aren't really hooking up as well as they need to, and as long as they need to get up there, but they're getting more help. Jeffrey Wilson's jumped up there. Matthew Bell is there, but far back, so it's really at least a third car up there. They get a fourth, then they're going to be cooking with gas. It only takes one of those guys like Silver or Tom Bourne to try it. Look at the run they got, Hunter.
Might be the 16 of Bourne. He is basically in a must-win scenario, as he is down in the points. He is currently 16th, but anything can happen here at Talladega, but that outside lane not rolling. There's the 3 of Ryan Hartz. I don't think we've mentioned him at all tonight, and he's near in the top 10.
Yeah, he has made some decent forward progress. He's just outside of it and aptly riding a couple cars back in that second lane. And man, Bolivar, that they look like they had something going. I think, Connor, you were talking about they keep having something going, or Hunter, I think you mentioned it too. They keep getting something going. They just can't quite maintain that momentum, and they're backing off again. And part of me is not sure if they're just testing the waters or if they're actually trying and no one else behind them is willing to commit.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're definitely testing right now for the end of the race, but also you want to see it work. So they're definitely trying to get up towards the front and trying it. The problem is no one's coming up in front of them, and what that means is Cameron Hearn has to kind of take all the load from the rear bumper of Paul Irvin, which means his his oil temp is just going to be skyrocketing into the 280s, 290s, and you can't do that or else you're going to blow up. So it's in a scenario where if just one person like Tom Bourne came up in front of him, that would make Irvin the pusher, and it would just take a lot of the load off of Cameron Hearn instead.
Unfortunately, that is not the case, and one good driver who you just saw try to make that third lane rolling was Santo in the number 10, I believe is his car number. He is 21st in the points, so he actually does need a win to get inside the top 20 in points, and that would lock himself in for a playoff push. As now here comes 67 of Fern, going to try it again on the outside, but no help coming up from either behind or in front of him.
Maybe Irvin becomes the pusher. Sorry, Pena.
No, I was going to say Cameron Hearn riding up that top lane, and yeah, Irvin deciding not to go with them. And again, not sure that's just him trying to get some clean air, testing the waters. A lot of movement from him, but he hasn't really gone anywhere, which is the unfortunate part.
Yeah, he's given the gap to Hearn that where he can get in, but Hearn's waiting, probably just cleaning the nose, making sure the nose has, making sure the temps are as low as possible. Also testing the side draft a little bit, got really close to Alex Weaver, as here they go again with a tandem. 194 into turn number 3 that time by, compared to looking at Scioli's mile per hour into the corner, 192. So there's speed up there, but just doesn't last long enough. So we'll see. They're already disconnected, so we'll see how many more times they want to try this.
They're still getting something going. There's a little check up there from the middle and not so much on the outside. And you can see just on the bottom there, the 4 of Cochran and Santo, they are eagerly trying to bump draft up towards those two and continue to get that third lane rolling. And now Senesac looking like he'll go up and get some of the draft. And now that third lane is coming towards the front, Finian.
They really got something going now. Bryce Senesac looks like he's willing to commit some resources to the outside lane, and they're starting to go on a huge charge, the best charge they've had so far this race. Cameron Hearn mounting the charge, Paul Irvin right in behind, and it's a 3-horse race near the front. They try to upset the party, being controlled at the moment by James Cawley and Brad Slaughter.
Yeah, now we're cooking if we get a third lane up there, but it's still just these two. Bryce Senesac still not quite up there. Matthew Cochran, Andrew Santo, the other drivers up there trying to get to those two, but they're not. Senesac's not really gaining yet. Looking like into turn 1 he's gaining as those 3 lanes get really close there, but we finally have that third lane working. How much longer can it stay up there?
As long as they can go without crashing, then that would be ideal for everyone in the field, especially the 67 of Fern, who's leading that third lane. Slaughter still in the middle. They almost looked 4 wide there. Senesac had a moment coming out of 2. And now they're going to head 3 wide for the lead heading into 3.
Here they go. Here's that push, though. You see Senesac separated from the guys in behind, so I don't know how much longer they can really last. And here's the worst part, too, is they're now really facing a lot of the air now. So that's going to be slowing them down quite a bit. They're not really getting any sort of side drift because they're stuck near the front, and now you see them slowly drifting back. There's Cochran and Andrew Santo in behind them. If they can get up, they might be able to get another charge forward, but it looks like the momentum's died for now. And I'm really curious to see if Brad Slaughter is thinking of jumping up there to control the lane, but he doesn't. And here they go. Here comes the 67 back for round 2.
Cochran and Santo finally got to them a little bit closer, and that's really helping their momentum. Ryan Swan trying to join as well as that third lane's finally got the run. You could see Slaughter, wow, really loose off the bumper of the 88. Trying to side draft maybe, but can't do it. Hearn thought about getting to the middle, but he couldn't do it.
Oh, he's very tight, trying to clear someone heading into the turn, and that was not the case. Look out! We might be heading for 4 wide territory here, as they got a little squirrely there on that outside line. Irvin and Hearn did, and it's still strong in the middle. Brad Slaughter, strong on the bottom. James Scioli, that outside lane, going to have another charge, as they're trying to get a restack going.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like Paul was just not willing to go down as close to the cars in the middle lane as Hearn was, so he stayed up, and you saw that's what got them disconnected. So now they've lost the momentum. They got to gain it back, get collected together again to boost back forward. There is a lane open in the middle if Hearn wanted to in behind Mitchell, but it looks like he's not satisfied with that. Wants to be near the front. And you can see in the top 10, there's not a single driver on the bubble. There are 4 drivers there that are already locked in. Everyone else not locked in.
Yeah, all those drivers who are maybe looking for a win, just focusing on the end of the race instead of right now. Interested to see if anyone pits. We saw pit stops lap 20 on Tuesday night. Looks like no one's going to pit this time. The race is 4 laps longer than the truck race. So we're wondering if we're going to see similar strategy. It appears not, as Scioli was one of those lap 20 pitters. He stays out another lap as Brad Slaughter Jr. leads another lap in that third lane. Hunter once again getting another charge.
Oh yeah, this middle lane's starting to separate quite a bit. It's starting to dismantle itself. Nick Silver, the 46, is the nearest one back there. I'm not sure what happened. Everyone's starting to migrate towards the bottom, but that's music to the ears of Cameron Hearn in the outside lane. It has life again, still looking for that lead, trying to edge out in front of the 9 of Slaughter, but a massive push from Abby into the 7 of Scioli, going to keep the 7 in front for the time being.
Still a 3 wide battle here for the lead. Scioli leading the charge on the bottom. Shane Abbey still sitting nicely in second place in that line. Hasn't really moved a whole lot since the first lap. He's been stuck there in lane minding his own business. Hasn't really made a whole lot of moves. Same thing can be said for Justin Sogak. He's also been very comfortable sitting in behind Brad Slaughter. Has not decided to make any moves out of line. Really the most movement we've seen are the drivers currently sitting on that third outside lane. The 67, the 48, the 4, and the 10. All of them coming near the back of the field. The biggest mover out of them, actually, Matthew Cochran, started all the way dead last.
Oh, man. Yeah.
A lot of movement.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said the biggest mover is Cochran. I think everyone's moving right now. We're seeing these tires start to play maybe a tiny bit of a factor. It won't be as bad as Atlanta, but the rear ends of these Xfinity cars still get very, very squirrely as Hearn finally gets to the middle lane in front of Brad Slaughter Jr. Now what does Slaughter do? Does he try to split the middle? Does he try to go to the top? He doesn't want Hearn in the middle of this.
Well, that top's not going to go anywhere if it's just
they're
those
gone
three.
now.
Yeah, Hearn was the leader, and he just left his family out to dry, that being Irvin, Cochran, and Santo. So now Hearn's going to migrate towards the bottom. Now I'm going to park it in front of the 7. And Slaughter going to keep that middle rolling, and Irvin struggles with Cochran and Santo on that high line.
Family drama for Cameron Hearn. Is that what you call them? His family?
they were his family.
Basically, he's really abandoned them. They're dropping all the way to the back now.
They were tight-knit on that high line like a family.
And look, all 3 of them immediately dropped outside of the top 15 as soon as they left, and they just could not keep the momentum going. Meanwhile, Cameron Hearn enjoying the spoils of war, up near the top, sitting in second.
Yeah, and he uses that just to get to the front instead of running at the back, as Slaughter leads the bottom now, finally gets to the bottom, and Sokak stays on the top, pushed by Greg Mitchell. Hearn just, I think, content to just sit in these 2 lines at this point. We're not too far away from pit stops, as that shows a lot about how good of a pusher I think Paul Irvin was, because he pushed the 67 all the way there and did a really good job. But once the 48 was the pushy, and I believe it was Cochran on his bumper, they just couldn't go anywhere. And that's really important to figure out now, Hunter, figuring out who can push, who can be pushed. It really factors into who you work with at the end of these races.
You can be pushed. That is in my opinion, a bigger plus than pushing, because you can hold a steady wheel and can maintain a push, or someone just giving you a massive boost, as some of these guys are close towards the apron. I will say, it looks like the way this is going, they're going to pit and they're going to wreck coming on the pit road, and that might be the yellow.
You can see the bottom lane, very, very single file. Maybe we saw these guys 3 wide not a couple laps ago, and now very strung out single file here. You see them coming out of turn 2. So pit stops, I think, are definitely on the radar for a lot of drivers.
Couldn't tell if Matthew Bell said pitting in or not, but we'll definitely see this time as Anasoga got to the bottom. So that's kind of a telltale sign of how close we're getting the pit stops. So many drivers, like you said, Finian, on the bottom. So definitely a hard entry. Yep, here they go.
First round of pit stops, quite a few takers, a couple lockups. Cameron Hearn, can he slow down in time? Quite a few guys going pretty quick. I think everyone made it.
That'd be surprising.
Yeah, we'll see what the penalties might be. We'll see what the strategy is. I'd be surprised if it was anything more than 2 tires, considering how important track position is. Ooh, Slaughter missed his stall. That'll lose him some time, but he was at the front of the pack, so maybe not going to hurt him as much, as it looks like 2 tires are going on all these cars from that sequence of pit stops as they all roll off, as Slaughter does roll off. Anna Sogak is not rolling off.
And it looks like he also sped on pit road, 88 did.
Yeah, that's a killer at these tracks, especially when you're the only one.
Group number 2 coming down to pit lane. These guys coming in really hot. Ryan Hart's, Tom Bourne, Justin Munsell barely missing the line. Yeah, that was pretty hot. We saw Justin. We heard Justin and Sogak might have gotten speeding penalty.
Anna Sogak got a speeding penalty.
Oh,
Mason Kane!
Mason Kane around.
And that was contact with Travis Beckner, so didn't get through unscathed, but I wouldn't call it a wreck as he went way past his stall with nothing he could do there. As lucky that was the worst of it. So you'll see Muhammad in the background, but this was the main crash.
Oh, in front of Beckner.
I think he realized his stall was there too late. I don't think he even knew where it was.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's not a good thing. I mean, for a lot of these guys, this is the first time they're seeing where their pit stalls are. You should have a general idea from where you started, but if you forgot where you started, it's definitely not good. You see Mason Kane just now getting off of pit lane as everyone else comes flying by. But either might have lost connection there or might have just all forward. No, he just lost connection. So he's back out. And only 2 comers to pit lane this time by in the third group. Garrett Grant, Ed Robertson coming down there by themselves. And that just leaves a group. Shane Abbey, Greg Mitchell, Nick Silver, Chris Rabel, Paul Irvin, and Matthew Cochran all out by themselves. Meanwhile, everyone else is meeting up in 3 and 4.
Grant and Robertson will exit their stalls. Thought Robertson sped, but actually got away with it as this main pack, what will be the effective lead pack, is right here as Scioli and Hearn almost went to the bottom together. They almost hooked the bumpers. A little confusion of where everyone's going, but effective leader would be Cameron Hearn if it stood up right now. Scioli, Weishart. I haven't really talked about Weishart since the start. He was third.
And these guys actually, sorry to cut you off, these guys staying out.
I couldn't imagine going 42 laps on the tank. Sorry, Hunter.
I would say they're probably going to go to the end of their fuel run. I'm just guessing because these guys have yet to pit now. They're slicing and dicing their lap traffic.
Yeah, this is not what they want. They just got caught up, I think, with Michael Muhammad. So that separated that group out a little bit. And this is the big issue, though, is that they're the smaller pack there. They might be losing some solid time to this big pack that's formed up now that they're single file near the front. And here comes Brad Slaughter on the outside, trying to see if he can make a move. Going to fight with David Weiser and Skyling on the bottom. Cameron Hearn getting a big shove in behind. Shane Terry also deciding to join the fun.
Yeah, they're looking for a good run as that top line was way faster, but all evens out once you enter the corner as that inside line finally gets some formation into it as they're going to be dead even. Theron's going to go to the top, just let Ryan Hartz through, most likely. Tom Bourne's there as well. As you can see how spread out this has put what will be the main pack. Everyone's all over the place. Andrew Santos just barely hanging on, as is Bryce Senesac, Colin Fambro, Gak Joan, and Beckner.
Yeah, these guys are just now catching up, though. The second group, though, is a little bit further behind. They got 4 guys together, though, so this is not the worst case scenario, but they just need to make sure they stay tucked up together nicely. And especially there, I noticed some names in here. Colin Farrell and I believe Austin Gak-Jones are 2 guys that need to race to pretty much win the race to get in. I think Bryce Senesac might also be in that list.
Senesac 15th in points. He lost 4 spots last week.
He's minus 30, so it would take a miracle to point in.
Yeah, so a lot of these guys pretty much going to have to win this race to get in. They definitely need to make sure they want to catch the main pack in order to do that. That final pack has still yet to pit, and they're still running here a couple seconds off the leader. I mean, they're technically the leaders, but that pack that will effectively take the lead, they're off into 3 and 4. It's a clean track ahead of these guys.
It's clean track for them, clean track for the leaders, or the effective lead pack as well, as they just lapped Anna Sogak finally, as he'll just slot in. He has no one to battle with, really. As they aren't putting down a bad pace, the drivers who haven't pit, but it's still slower than what the lead pack is. This time by, you can look at the times, Brad Slaughter Jr. a 50.3. Go to Shane Abbey, who's crossing the line right now at the front of that pack. 9/10 of a second slower, so it's definitely a losing battle, but it might not matter if they're trying to hit a fuel window, but like I told you, Hunter, I don't think you're going to see them go 42 laps.
No, that would be a big stretch. If they could get to 35, they might come in and pit and then be good to go at 70. That is if we don't get a caution in this race, but still battling right, well, I should say behind them, but they're technically in front of the leaders. It's Slaughter and Scioli. This is for 7th on back.
Yeah, effectively they will take the lead. Yeah, at the rate they're going, they will definitely pass the actual leaders in this race, Shane Abbey, Greg Mitchell, Nick Silver. When this all cycles out this run, again, some guys playing the short game, a lot of other guys playing the long game. Got a mix in strategy already, which is not normally something you really think of when you come to Talladega, but we're already seeing it early on here, not even halfway through this race.
Yeah, I think what's helping these guys is that because there's so many more cars in this pack, they're going too wide, and it's helping them a lot more. And they're just not pushing that well in that line of 6, so they're going to be a little bit behind. They might not even stay with the lead pack when they come down the pit road. Depends on how much fuel they take and if they take tires. So they're going to have to play some more strategy with how they pit to maybe stay with this lead pack, as they're storming through the tri-oval now, as Slaughter and Scioli still at the front. They've managed to find each other again, as maybe, hopefully, we'll see that photo finish line utilized, the camera utilized today.
It'll be close to see if the photo finish will be used or if we'll have a chaotic finish like we had earlier at Daytona, where they all wrecked on the backstretch except for Justin and Sogok. So Justin's hoping for it to be that way. Everyone else not looking forward to that, or not looking for that. But Scioli's still on the bottom, Slaughter in the middle, and that's basically been it for the entirety of this race. It's been Scioli on the bottom, Slaughter in the middle. Then as soon as Hearn got up there, they got comfortable for a couple of laps and then decided to make pit stops. So this is how it's been for the majority of the night, as the top 6 still have yet to come down pit road.
Yeah, still waiting to see what really is the maximum they can make it on. So we're thinking, lap 35 is really when these guys are going to be starting to stretch it. Definitely not coming down this time, so they will make at least one more rotation to complete lap 35 coming next time down. But we'll see, again, keeping track and seeing what they can do, how much they can do. If they can reach that miracle of 42 laps on a run, that'll be impressive, especially because they're not shuffling the driver out in front. So Shane Abbey burning significantly more fuel than the rest of these guys. But I think really with the strategy they have going, if this doesn't work out for them, they're going to be way behind the leaders if we do go green all the way to the end.
Yeah, they really have to figure out a way to get different pushers in there. Michael Muhammad's had internet issues, so that might be tough for him to be the pusher, but clearly Greg Mitchell's struggling with doing it and struggling with temps. You can see how you were seeing how far off he was of the 84, so something's got to give there. Something's got to change, because it's not going to work out.
Who's getting that third line going? Is that Hearn again?
It is Hearn. He's not the one in front, though. He's got Travis Beckner in front of him. And they come back in behind at the moment. Not sure this is just to get a little bit more toe. Indeed it is, and he's going to peel out to the side. I saw someone have a look there ahead of them.
Ryan Swan.
Yeah, Swan in the number 20 machine thought about looking up, but he's going to stay down there. And just 2 cars around the outside to make that third lane start going. They're going to try to upset the order here in this main pack.
But if you're going to want 2 drivers to tandem to the front, Cameron Hearn and Travis Beckner are probably the best 2 that you want up there, because they're aggressive and they're fast and they know how to bump draft. So they are 2 dangerous drivers when they're together, when they get together, and they're all the way to the front just like that. As still that lead pack get the pit. They've gone 36 laps. I'm surprised about that.
Now they're 3 wide back here, and there's another car trying to go to the outside. I believe that's Anna Sogok in the 88. Or Matco Tools machine trying to get up there. They are 3 wide into 3 thingy, and it's only going to get more intense from here on out.
It definitely is going to get only more intense, really. I think these guys have one more. Everyone has to make one more pit stop to make it to the end of the race. I think that's really where we're going to see the kick up a notch. I think for now, going to see these guys try to get themselves near the front of this little group, but not ruffled. I can't imagine they want to ruffle too many feathers. And there you see Travis Beckner is going to stay in the middle lane. Cameron Hearn now getting pushed by Justin Anasogak. So changes in alliances, at least on the track, though, as Anasogak is going to ditch being in behind Brad Slaughter, going to give Cameron Hearn a push to the front.
And Lasagak's in a spot where he's likely going to be the lucky dog car if we get to the cycle of the top 6 pitting. So He's positioning himself in that scenario in case anyone else gets lapped. Try to put himself in a better spot to keep that lucky dog position, as most of the other guys a lap down are in that line of 6 lead lap cars. So 88's clearly got speed. We saw it at Daytona. We've already seen how good of a pusher he is, and we're seeing it right now, but he just needs to get a break.
Needs to catch a break, and but we haven't had a caution at this track for the Pro Series since Season 2. It's been that long, and they're nearing halfway going through this race without having an incident, as there's your leaders. Shane Abbey's still leading the way.
Oh, I thought I saw Paul Irvin in behind dip down, but they complete lap 38. Still no signs of pitting from these guys. It's looking more and more likely that they might be able to make it, but again, they really are going to have to reach lap 42. Maybe they can make it if they reach lap 41, but that's going to be even further stretch on that second run. So it's looking a bit iffy.
What's iffy is the time they're losing. Since last I checked, maybe 5 laps ago, they've lost 7 seconds. So they're not fast while doing it. So even if they do one less stop, they're going to have an issue of just not being fast enough for it to happen. That's even if they make it to lap 42. They still got 3 extra laps to go.
Here comes the main group on Mason King. He's already a lap down. They're just inheriting him.
Effectively, he's going a lap down.
He's 2 laps down.
Well, they're not the lead.
Wait, no, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the funny thing is that this is
my brain hurts.
Yeah,
these will effectively be the leaders, but he's already a lap down because the actual leaders are 30+ seconds up the road.
Yeah, so he'll be fighting with Anna Sogok for that, and as they'll
Munsell flirting with the apron there, got a little bit loose.
Seen so much of that already tonight, and they're on fresh right side, so it's even more surprising.
And one thing we haven't really seen a whole lot of tonight, except really one time, was Simrat Market, your Simrat Market replay sponsor. Race fans, be sure to visit simratmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. That's simratmarket.com. And these guys are definitely focused here, especially on the outside lane, because they got 4 guys hooked up there. Alex Weaver and Ryan Swan joining the party up there. Although Swan actually looks like he's going to leave those guys and come back down to the comfort of the middle lane. And it looks like Cameron Hearn has inherited the lead of this little group. Will he ditch his family a second time?
New family.
He got adopted and he's about to leave him again, potentially.
I'm sensing a pattern. I was trying to focus, instead of Cameron Hearn's family, I was trying to focus on the top 6. Shane Abbey pit. He didn't bring anyone else. He pit on his own.
Oh, that makes sense, though, because
he was the only one.
He was the only one out there by himself. And I'm surprised that he didn't just decide to just dip on back to behind these guys, because he's obviously the person in front is going to be the one losing out big time. But here these guys come to complete lap 41. Can they make it another circuit? Oh, my God, they can.
Well, that throws a wrench into things. I didn't expect that to be possible at all, but if they pit this time by lap 42 coming to 43, they're going to be maybe 28, 27 seconds in front of the pack that still has to pit again. So maybe it's possible if it goes green. We'll just have to wait and see, because clearly there's something to it. It's not just trying to get better fuel to the end. There is a possibility they could do one stop, Hunter.
Yeah, they're banking on this to go caution-free. Hudson, they're getting close with Muhammad, sorry. It was back a couple seasons ago.
Haven't seen him in a while.
He ran the 78, but they're still running in front of the leader, Nick Silver, and see if they make pit stops.
Here they come on down, all in unison. Nick Silver, Chris Rabel, Greg Mitchell, Paul Irvin, Matthew Cochran.
Oh, Irvin hit the inside wall, I think.
Did he?
He got close to it if he did.
I haven't had a whole lot of chances to use it, so might as well use it now. Here's your look at your Simrat Market replay of that.
If he didn't hit it, it was close.
Let's see here. I think maybe try to go out left. Was catching up to Nick Silver, getting on the brakes. Oh, a little bit of tap.
Just a left tap.
It might not kill him, but Cameron Hearn got the lead. He just went to the 3rd lane, so a little interesting there, as he's going to pick Anna Sogok back up instead of just riding the bottom, as now, finally, this pack becomes most definitely the lead pack, and Brad Slaughter Jr. Officially goes back to the race lead. The only problem, I'll point this out just to get out of the way, the problem with those guys who put on lap 42, they saved a lot of that fuel while they were in the big pack. It's just going to be those 5 or 6, so it's going to be a lot harder to save that fuel this time.
some of these guys, they might be separated a bit too coming out of pit road.
Let's take a look at them coming out of pit lane here. This is Jacob Hudson, who is leading. There they are. Oh, yeah, this is not good at all. I'm surprised they didn't try to coordinate this a little bit better. You know, at least have, like, one of the Rabel drop a little bit further back. But, yeah, they're definitely going to want to get hooked up as soon as possible here. Shane Abbey came in 2 laps earlier than these guys, so he is going to definitely lose out. Matthew Cochran might lose out here. Paul Urban, Silver, and Rabel look like they're going to bunch up together. And did we lose one of them?
Greg Mitchell got a penalty.
There he is. Man, this is really unfortunate. You can see there from the highs to the lowest to lows. Was led this race at one point, Greg Mitchell in the 2. Is now down to 32nd.
And that pretty much is going to kill that strategy, I think. I don't think you're going to be able to save any or nearly enough fuel. You're not going to be fast enough without a pack, so good luck with that as their focus once again goes back to the main pack as those 4 trying to fight to get formed up. We'll see if they can do something, but they got a lot of time to work with here as Slaughter and Scioli continue to dominate this race. And Anna Sogak is now the one leading that 3rd line after Cameron Hearn just dropped from the front to the back.
He is in the middle of that 3-wide pickle back there as Slaughter continues to lead. It's the Slaughter and Scioli show as they continue to run up front.
Ooh.
Middle and bottom, and here comes Hearn, going to give a little shove back to the 88 of Anasogok before going back to the middle.
Yeah, Hearn is interesting. He keeps going from the back to the front to the back to the front. I guess he's having a lot of fun tonight. Oh, and Ryan Hart's is he making some moves up there. Old ditch. Brad Slaughter on the top lane goes in front of Scioli to upset the balance of power. That's pretty much been maintained up for except for Cameron Hearn meddling and things here and there. But new leader Ryan Hart's to the front.
Well, not an official lead change. Technically, it won't count because Scioli not having any of that. Immediately jumps in front of Slaughter, and he'll lead that lap.
It was for just a few turns, but yeah, it'll be Scioli that'll keep the 3 from leading a lap, and Scioli coming down in front to keep him at bay.
Couldn't tell what Hart said. I thought it sounded like y'all are no fun or something like that. I don't know for sure, but I think he's kind of annoyed. I'd be annoyed too. I just got the lead and just dumped me, but he's gonna have to be behind the 7 and be the pusher once again. He's now Beckner pushes Slaughter in the top lane, 3rd lane. Cameron Hearn doing it once again, pushing just in. Sogak up there is dead even for the lead.
Where did they go?
Okay.
Or did we just cut cameras? I think we cut cameras, but it looked like the 7 blinked and disappeared for a moment as we were moving to Brad Slaughter. Oh, okay. So it's just the cut of the camera.
That's how good Finian cameras are, don't worry. 7 is not a ghost, and we know that in the Pro Series more than anything. He's very present in the Pro Series with 7 wins. And looking really strong for number 8 potentially. So he's definitely got his partners up there. He's got a lot of help to do it. Justin Munsel's also got some help up there, but doesn't have the track position.
Got the momentum, though, and the consistency to do so. He's been so close in the Pro Series to getting that first win over the last handful of weeks, but it just has not come to fruition yet. It could happen here at Talladega, or it could happen for the 98 of Jeffrey Wilson as we go on the in-car with him, running the 10th spot right now. In a good position. Got a good look at the 67 of Cameron Hearn going front to back, and now he's kind of worked his way in the middle of this pack.
All the action has died down a little bit here for the moment. Take a quick look back at the points coming into tonight. And really, again, the guys that we really want to keep an eye on. Again, a lot of the guys inside the top 12 are basically locked in on points, or they're sitting comfortably enough where they really don't have a whole lot to worry about it. Really, the guys on the outside looking in, they have a lot to lose or a lot to gain, and really for them, they pretty much have to win this race.
Yeah, you can see those guys. Garrett Grant, Mason Kane, Bryce Senesac. They're the only guys who even had a shot at pointing in, and that's even still an outside shot. Everyone below that cut line is basically must win. And most of those guys are really not too close to the front as we speak. Tom Bourne is in 8th. He's probably the closest up there. At least now he's just borderline top 10. Gisanto, who win would get him top 20. He's 21st, so he's in the mix as well. But most of those guys still pretty far back and just lurking at this point.
Chris Rabel's a part of that group that stayed till lap 42 or pitted after halfway. And if by some way they make it to the end and these other guys have to pit, Rabel could earn himself a victory because he's 18th in points. So a win would definitely lock the Rabel machine in. But Cameron Hearn is looking to do just that. He won here Tuesday night in the Truck Series, looking for another win at Talladega. He's got that third lane rolling, and a Sogak now in the middle. But here comes the 67 of Hearn on the outside.
He's found a third family. Whoa, as Justin Sogak cuts in front of Brad Slaughter. Travis Beckner stuck in the middle lane, only really using the side draft as now he's had his entire lane abandon him. As Alex Weaver and company dive to the inside lane. So everyone getting strung out again. And I think that's because pit stops are potentially on the horizon. You can see everyone tucked up on the bottom lane.
The majority of the field pit lap 25, so maybe logic dictates lap 50, but you might want to stretch it at least a little bit further just in case you get that green-white checkered. You don't really want to have to be too close on fuel, albeit they're still good from here, but we'll see if they do want to all pit.
Looks like they might come down this time, if not this time, next time by, because they all got down there in a hurry. And here comes a huge train of cars on the pit lane. Oh boy, this can get ugly.
Oh, it can so quickly, but it seems like everyone's good so far, but it's not over yet. You got to get into your pit stall. It's very important. We've already seen contact.
This is the most treacherous part.
That was the majority of the field right there coming on down. Of the drivers that stayed out, looks like Weaver, Ryan Hartz, Travis Beckner, Casey Lacatas, Jordan Martin, Matthew Belt, and Garrett Grant, all in this picture, have stayed out. And they're discombobulated at the moment, so they will lose some time if they don't get collected. And here comes the field out, all pretty much in the same pack that they came in on. Wow, they are really close together.
Ed Robertson looking like the big winner out of this here, Connor.
Yeah, I think we had some drivers take no tires. I know Andrew Santo didn't take tires.
And
Ed Robertson's
one of them, yep.
But still, majority took two, so that's going to play a factor as well. Drivers on very worn tires. The big loser was Kyle Farnborough. He barely overshot his stall. I think he's going to be able to hang as the rest of the leaders come down. Looked like they came down cleanly. Seems like Farnborough's going to be able to keep the draft, but it's going to be close.
Oh, Mason Kane slipped through his box. Yeah. Everyone else looking like they made it on through. So where is this group? There they are. Oh, looks like they found Greg Mitchell. Unfortunately, you can't really do much for them. Actually, this actually works out great for these guys because Mitchell's kind of in a hole either way. So they're just going to have him sit in front and, get the worst fuel mileage, and they're going to try to benefit off the rest of the time that they're going. So this could be interesting to see how long these guys can stay up there.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how far they want to push this. If I'm them, you got to kind of go to the end, right?
Oh, they basically have to.
Yeah, you kind of made your bet at this point. It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah, you'd have to lion in at this point. And oh my goodness, they are coming out in front of the leaders. Here they come. It is Anna Sogak leading the charge, but oh boy. Well, hello, Wall.
Oh yeah, that's a nice wall. Oh, there they go. Ray Robertson's around. Oh, he's trying to save it. Look out, everyone else. Wow, that should have been a lot bigger. My goodness.
Oh, boy. Haven't had a whole lot of drama tonight so far. Let's see what happened. We'll probably get the best angle here from the blimp up above. This is when these drivers are catching the leaders. It looks like
stack up.
Yeah, Skyley got loose. Munsell followed, and Robertson going for a wild ride in the grass. Fantastic job trying to save that thing. That was incredible.
Let's see what the stack up's from. I can't tell.
It looks like Skyley got loose, or almost turned by Munsell right there, and then Munsell went into him trying to avoid. Robertson, look at the handiwork on him. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, that saved his race. Fortunately, he's going to be out of a draft, but his race could have been over completely. So he at least has a chance if something happens.
And for all the guys in the front, this also saved this little group's chances of winning this race as well.
Yes. Yeah, it did for sure. That was really weird to stack up in the middle, the middle lane. That's not something you usually see in the middle lane because everyone went there. But the pack's still working. Chris Rabel, the leader of the race. Greg Mitchell pretty much out of contention as Brad Slaughter Jr. Maintains the lead of the main pack as Scioli's now the pusher and Anna Sogak leading the bottom. That's been a change of pace.
Change of pace indeed, as Rabel continues to lead. He's got the 2 of Mitchell in front of him, but it's Silver, then Swerve and Irvin, Matthew Cochran that are inside this top 4. Jacob Hudson is 5th, Abby 6th, Durham, Mohammed, and then you got to go back to Slaughter, who's amongst those that pitted and is leading the way. The lap car, Van Sogak there next to him.
I keep forgetting he's a lap down, but yes, he is not involved in this race for the win at this moment.
He's driving like he is. That's why it's so confusing, but he is still all the way back in 30th on the relatively bright side of things. He is the lucky dog holder at the moment. He's fighting with Mason Kane, who's at the tail end of this pack, I believe.
Yeah, just barely. Tail end is generous because he's almost losing it.
These guys are hanging on back there.
Lakatos and Fambro, 2 drivers who really can't afford at finishes.
And here's just up the road from that pack, Michael Muhammad, Steve Durham. They're ahead of that main group, but they're definitely going to have to come down to pit lane. They've done 29 and 30 laps respectively since their last pit stop, and there's that lead group ahead of them who should be good to the end. So things are starting to shape up here as we got a big charge on the outside lane from Jordan Martin in the 17. Haven't seen a whole lot of him. Oh, he's going to throw a big block on Brad Slaughter, trying to make him work hard around the outside. Matthew Bell trying to charge on the outside, fighting along with the 3 of Ryan Hart.
Yeah, I'd not be surprised if Skyly gets clear. He'll likely get in front of Jordan Martin. But like you said, I've not seen a charge from the 17 quite yet. Going to the front when it matters the most. 19th in points, needs the win, putting themselves in position as Skyly won't get clear. Slaughter's not even clear. Bell and Hart's losing some momentum as getting some new players to the front when it matters.
Definitely getting close to where it matters as that outside lane still hanging on with Bell and Hart's pushing through. Those are teammates, by the way, as they nearly made contact to 7 and 88. Coyote and Sogak, but again, Jordan Martin back in Season 2 in the Cup Series, entered 19th in points, needed a win to get in, got it done here at Talladega. Very similar story tonight, enters 19th in the points for the Pro Series, needs a win to get in. Could very well be the second time that happens for Martin, but Slaughter still on the outside line, or in the middle line, I should say, with Skyly behind. Those two have been up front the entire night, Finian.
Yeah, they really have been in real good control of this race. Brad Slaughter getting a solid push from Skyly, and actually Skyly's got a big dent in the back of his bumper. Not sure that was from Munsell or someone else.
Might have been from that checkup.
I think it was from Munsell, yeah. Munsell got some pretty decent front-end damage from that. Don't have that great of a view of it. But he has some left rear damage as well from kind of slapping at Robertson. But doesn't really matter at that point. Wow, that was tight.
That's as close as you can get without wrecking, other than what happened with Ed Robertson. But that is super close, and the middle still pushing through, as you can see from the onboard of Justin Buckle. But that 17 of Jordan Martin coming back on the bottom.
Yeah, actually, this is also a better time than any to get through our next sponsor, Rick's Hot Sauce. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which drivers will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standing. That's rickshotsauce.com. You can see the code on the back of Skyly's bumper. Use code SKYOLI, save $7 off your order. And he's doing a fantastic job for them at the moment, at least in this pack though, not at the moment, not doing well in the race as a whole, because these guys are not the leaders, although they look like they're fighting as if they were. And I'm a bit surprised that they're fighting this hard, because they've been catching that group, but they've been stalled out. Because if you look at the lap times here, last lap for this group, Chris Rabel leading the charge, is 51.1 for him. This group, they were catching, but they've stalled out, I think, due to all the fighting going on here, as Matthew Bell inherits the lead, 50.8, and for some of the guys near the front, 51 flat.
Yeah, honestly, I think what changed was the pusher. Greg Mitchell was not a good pusher, but now he's the leader, and Chris Rabel is clearly a pretty good pusher right now, and Silver and Irvin Cochran, they're doing their job, so it's working out for now. The only issue is, are you really saving enough fuel to make it to the end?
Oh my goodness. Gosh. He had a little tap there from Munsell in the middle of the trial. Well, and that's going to get the bottom line all out of shape. They might get back in order by the time they get down the backstretch, but we were close to disaster there, Connor.
I knew we'd see a fourth lane. I didn't think it'd be down there, but A, because it's not illegal, and B, because it's not safe. But they got away with it twice already, Finian. They're not gonna get away with that a lot more time.
No, they definitely not. But I am really surprised that this group is not deciding to, at least go double file. They have a little handshakes agreement. Hey guys, we're not even fighting for the win here. Let's play it easy and calm till we catch the actual leaders of this race, because they look like they're going to catch them, but with the stalling out that they're doing, they're starting to run out of time. They've not been making a whole lot of inroads. Plus, they got this group ahead of them. They got to overtake 4 cars. This is definitely going to disrupt them with these 4 drivers up ahead. Two on the lead lap and 2 of them a lap down.
Almost all of them still need the pit. Shane Abbey was one of those drivers who went pretty long. He was the earliest of that the pitter, so he likely can't make it. Everyone else in this pack, I believe, pit lap 25, so they're still holding out hope that maybe they get a yellow, I suppose, like Muhammad and Durham.
There's a good chance they might
be the yellow. Yeah.
At this rate, we know that some of you
3 wide and not slowing down, Hunter.
No.
I would say we know that some of the folks watching here are big fans of Central United Motorsports and Casey Lakatos, as well as Steve Durham, who's running 7th at the moment, but Lakatos entered tonight as the final driver locked in. Well, I shouldn't say locked in. Final driver in on points, 27-point cushion. However, if Chris Rabel wins, that would knock him out of the postseason. So, and those guys pitted and they went 42 laps on a tank of fuel. So, if they are not caught by this pack, it could be trouble for the 50 of Lakatos trying to make it to the playoffs.
And how close is he to the other drivers ahead of him in points? Can he pass someone in points, or is he too far back?
Lakatos?
He
can pass Alex Weaver. Not looking likely. They're right on top of one another, and Weaver's ahead. But Ryan Hartz is only a point ahead of Weaver, so it's possible for Lakatos to pass drivers. So if Rabel was to win, the race would be between Hartz, Weaver, Lakatos, etc.
Steve Durham is coming down to pit lane. So is Jacob Hudson. So now the only 2 cars that the leaders have to deal with, just Shane Abbey and Michael Muhammad.
Yeah, makes things a lot easier for them.
Oh boy. No, it does not.
Fine, I
might have spoke too soon there.
Yeah, maybe I did. They're really weaving all over the place. Scioli got down immediately. Jordan Martin is wanting to go by the 7, and he will.
Right. So Scioli picked up by the 84, and this is pretty much where he was running beforehand, and before he had some issues getting down to pit lane, and now is a lap down.
It's a revolving door for the outside lane and then the middle, because Scioli was leading it, and then Martin, and now Anna Sogog leading that outside line. There's Mason Kane, the 31, still trying to get a 3rd lane rolling, but for now it's just this low and middle groove that's being held by Jordan Martin on the bottom, and Anna Sogog in the middle with Slaughter just shoving the bumper out of him.
Really, Mason Kane's just trying to find a way to get there in the Sogog, because that's his battle, to get the lucky dog and try to be safe and try to find a way to get back in this race. That's his only avenue.
Whoa!
Oh, no! Don't do that! Oh
boy.
My goodness!
We're getting there.
Play nice.
We're getting there, I think, for sure, Hunter.
They are definitely flirting with disaster the more aggressive blocks they make, but they are running out of laps. We're on 20 to go. We're coming to 20 to go, and guys aren't going to have too much time to battle it out for the win. But then again, they still have to catch the front, front
so
7 or so.
There's the leaders coming by. Actually, they found more people to hook up with, so they can get hooked up. They might be able to work. So those are the leaders passing by. Here is the main pack chasing them down. Oh, Rat Cameron turns sideways in the trioval, and the caution will fly.
Michael Muhammad.
Oh,
Garrett
boy.
Grant is in it.
Just as we were looking at the caution light, it came out.
We knew it would come into play. David Weishart's totaled. He wasn't locked in, I don't believe. Garrett Grant's destroyed. Colin Fambro, he needed a win. He's totaled. Shane Therian has damage. So we'll get a replay of this.
What happened here? Oh, Michael Muhammad came up.
Oh my goodness.
Munsell hit Cameron Hearn. Ryan Hart's involved. Alex Weaver, I think, involved as well. And Matthew Bell.
That is not going to go over well.
No.
Being a lap car.
Well, not really a lap car. They're still racing for position, but it's just unfortunate.
Off sequence.
Well, they had the pit still.
Yeah, they're off sequence.
Yeah.
Here's a look from Matthew Bell's point of view.
Oh. Just so close to getting through it. Look at all the chaos he gets through.
And then just hit by Cameron Hearn at the end there. I'll ride on board, speaking of which, with Cameron Hearn here and see his point of view.
I see him float in the air.
Yeah, he took a big hit to the right rear. He almost threw it.
Almost avoided it, and then, yeah. Might have gotten a hit from Shane Terrian as well there.
Might have been Garrett Grant. I think they both accordion. Then there's the hit with Bell. As a lot of drivers not happy with Michael Muhammad in chat.
I'm not too surprised.
We'll get a good view of it here. Yeah, this is, yeah, not surprised about their anger. Not many drivers got away unscathed.
I'm sure all the drivers that were trying to hope that this race would finish on the green are going to be really irritated because that blew up. That made their strategy kind of blow up in their face. Actually, it's not the worst case scenario because they are still out there. They didn't have to pit, although it looks like Paul Urban and Matthew Cochran will decide to come on down. A few more, actually.
Chris Rabel, Nick Silver did not.
I don't think Scioli pitted either.
Yeah, quite a few guys coming on down, including Justin Anasogak. That's kind of surprising.
Paul Urban missed his stall, but this is going to take a lot of drivers who needed the win out of contention. Garrett Grant's totaled. He could have pointed in. He won't make it now. Mason Kane did not get the lucky dog out of this, I believe. He still needs help. Bryce
just saw someone take it. I'm not sure who it was.
Him and Anasogak are both still lap down.
Oh yeah, neither of them got it, did they?
Oh no, I was gonna say no. And I think they so they came down to pit lane to pit because I think because Rabel stayed out, so they wouldn't have gotten a wave around anyway.
That's right. Jacob Hudson got it. That's crushing for Anasogak. He was in that position the entire run. It felt like.
Yeah. And I think it was because they were part. Hudson was probably part of the group that the leaders inherited.
Yes.
Yeah. Where when the caution happens. Yeah, that is really unfortunate timing for him. Chris Rabel being first, Nick Silver in second, so they will stay out. No reason for them to pit. Scioli, Martin, Brad Slaughter, and Senizak will also stay out. Everyone else has come down to pit lane. And Shane Terrian, his car is still a little beat up. Actually, looks like he missed pit lane. Didn't have a time registered in the box. I think he'll come back down.
Yeah, he missed his stall, I believe. So yeah, he does have to come back down as a. Yeah, I'm not concerned about Scioli, Martin, Slaughter. Track position is going to matter a lot at the end of this race.
Big moment for Shane Abbey. He actually gets back in this race because he was off. He was off sequence a little bit because he lost the leaders. But he's back in this on the same strategy. Justin Munsell in 10th, Jeffrey Wilson in 11th. Beckner, Swan, Bourne, Austin Gagjon, Casey Lakatos in 16th. And a couple more drivers near the back. A lot of guys with damage. There's Jacob Hudson catching the lead. Paul Urban in 17th. Weaver catching back up. I think he had to get some damage repair. He was in his box for a minute. Ed Robertson also looks like he's going to get a wave around or was getting back towards the leaders?
Never. Just getting back up there. He never went a lap down.
Okay.
As the Durham pits, Mitchell pits. I'm interested in. I was trying to say I was interested in Rabel and Silver here because I can't imagine they're that great on fuel. So this yellow will help, but I honestly think they're going to need more help if they're going to make it on Fuel Hunter and also stay in the lead. Well,
that caution that just came out guarantees that we're going to have another caution because we're not going to go 16 laps without a yellow. It's just inevitable whenever you get them all bunched back up, especially like Chris Rabel, Nick Silver, those guys. They've been on their own strategy for a good portion of this race, and they really haven't had any major packs to deal with, so they're going to have to deal with the 7 of Scioli and the 9 of Slaughter, the 17 of Jordan Martin. All those guys that were front runners in the main pack, they're going to have to deal with them now on this restart.
Kind of enjoying the fact that the leaders have been kind of shaken up a little bit. You still see quite a few of the front runners still there. They're not completely shaken up. You'd see Scioli and Brad Slaughter, though they're nose to tail. Jordan Martin has been making a lot of noise since he got up near the front, throwing some big blocks on the 7. So he might definitely be one to watch. Bryce Senizek up there, Matthew Cochran, Shane Abbey. Cochran, we haven't really seen a whole lot of, and again, started dead last. He's up 26 spots. So a solid climb forward for him. So this restart should be interesting, and I agree, Hunter. I don't think this will be the last of the pace car we'll be seeing here tonight. Any changes in picks for you guys, as far as the win is concerned?
I'm committed to my pick in Mason Kane.
Mason King currently a lap down.
I'm still committed. There can still be a caution. Or two.
All right. Hunter? I mean, not Hunter. Connor, you good?
Yes, heads up to take care of, but I am ready for this restart. It is going to be interesting because now we got sort of like 3 separate strategies. You got the guys who are close on fuel with no tires. You got the guys who are good on fuel, also with no tires, with Scioli, Martin, Slaughter, and then everyone's probably got fresh tires, so a lot's going to go on. The intensity's going to skyrocket here.
He definitely is going to skyrocket here. Chris Rabel leading him down through the tri-oval further pass. And now can finally get back on the gas, and we are back green here at Talladega.
Yeah, only kind of understating how short of a time we have to go. Only 16 laps to the end, so we're going to see drivers try to get to the third lane immediately.
Well, you heard the sting. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're in the sprint section as they are now 4 wide, now 3 wide towards the pack or towards the front of this. Scioli almost out in a moment. Martin in the middle. Actually, up top, Nick Silver in the middle. But Scioli pushing the 29 of Rabel in front, heading in the 4.
You can already see the anticipation kick up, as we mentioned a little bit earlier than we would have thought.
Oh, Wilson!
Oh, Wilson in the wall. Does he keep it off? He does keep it off.
Almost came back down into Cameron Hearn.
Lose quite a few spots doing so, and it's really off the pace. Not sure that Carl will still be able to keep up with the pack. Might have just lost it right there as he gets in behind, but that's going to be unfortunate for the number 98, but back up near the front. Brad Slaughter trying to push Chris Rabel and make some moves happen here.
Trying to push Rabel clear and then get himself clear so he can jump up in front of Scioli. I can almost guarantee you that's the plan between those two, but it's not working yet. Look at the weaving. Neither of these lanes stable right now. Is that third lane, Jordan Martin leading it, trying to come back to the front.
And Weaver on the radio saying, Wilson, I'm sorry, Wilson. It was just an unfortunate accident that happened there in turn 3. A lap later, Wilson out. And Weaver still in it, but at the back of this pack, and there's Cameron Hearn lurking on that outside line, just waiting a couple laps. He's going to somehow find his way side by side for the lead.
Nope, never mind. Nope, thought about it again. Here he goes. He's waiting for the right moment to go. He's going to be. Looks like he's going to be stuck with Jordan Martin. It looks like Tom Bourne maybe wants something to do with that outside lane. And it looks like he's going to be stuck there as Mason Kane's driving through the middle, just trying to see if he can get the lucky dog back. Ryan Swan now up leading that charge.
Yeah, Ryan Swan jumps up. A lot of drivers who need the win, trying to get to the outside line, trying to lead it more importantly, but not enough momentum there quite yet as, wow, Nick Silver's really weaving, really struggling on the older tires. I'd watch that 46 car to the end of this race.
I'd watch the 4 of Cochran. It seems like if the wreck's going to happen, it's going to be with him. Last couple of laps on the backstretch, he's gotten all out of shape and below the yellow line. And he's still getting a little out of shape there in the tri-oval as Scioli leads the lap, 13 to go.
And Nick Silver, it looked like for a second he thought about looking to the outside. Can Scioli come down in front and clear Rabel? He does not. And Rabel still stuck fighting for the lead. Brad Slaughter pushing him in behind. For Scioli, he's got Nick Silver in behind. And here comes Ryan Swan. That outside lane's got a huge charge.
Every time the middle lane and the bottom lane weave like that, the top lane stays steady.
And Bryson is sideways.
The 4 sideways. Watch the stack ups. Weaver's on the apron. They got it straight, but that's going to really string things out. You're going to see some big runs from the drivers outside the top 10 or so as now the 7 blinks out as Ryan Swan's going for the race lead.
Oh, bad time to be blinking when you're going for the win. Ryan Swan on the outside with Tom Bourne to the front. 12 laps to go. That outside line.
They're both clear, and they will come down. Bourne is actually going to try to take it from Swan. He abandoned him. They're now racing for the lead.
Big move. Tom Bourne needs this. Chris Rabel needs this. Now you got 2 drivers on the bottom line who need this win. Jordan Martin in the same boat. And Mason Kane, there they go. Nick Silver's around. Munsell spinning. No caution yet.
Wow, he saved it.
Munsell didn't.
It's below the double yellow line. It's not going to be a yellow,
and
that's unfortunate for the 6 of Munsell as we take a quick look at it.
On the back straightaway, did he get hit from the side? Oh, there's Senizek getting into Nick Silver, and then the 6 of Justin Munsell going flying off into the barrier, and he is not a happy camper.
His luck this week has been atrocious, and it's going to come to an end there as the battle for the lead still intense. Rabel got aboard. Wow.
Mason Kane sideways in the middle of everything.
And he's trying to get his lap back. This isn't even for position. He's almost blocking Martin into the wall. Here comes Rabel on the outside with Slaughter. Swan lurking in the back, but Rabel's going to lead at the line with 10 to go.
This is absolutely getting intense up here. Looking at Brad Slaughter here concentrated. Now Rabel coming down. That might have been a mistake because here comes Skyley and Brad Slaughter, 2 of the strongest cars in this race. Now they got some clean air to work with.
Clean air to work with indeed as they all go 3 by 3 down the back straightaway. That 9 rockets ahead as you can see the focus, how intensely focused he is with the 7 all over the rear bumper into turn number 3.
Interesting spot to be in. 3 wide for the lead in the middle. Got cars to your inside and to your outside. Here comes Jordan Martin in the 17 with Ed Robertson. Working that outside lane in as Rabel continues to hold the bottom. Slaughter continuing to hold the middle. But the 9 and 7, they've been the fastest cars all day long, and they're still up here when it matters most. 9 laps to go.
9 laps. This race is definitely coming to an end soon. You can see how much chaos has developed near the front of the order. They were orderly for a majority of this race, pretty much up to lap 70 or so, and then after this last caution, they've kicked up the driving. They've gotten so sporadic, so chaotic near the front. Everyone making moves, especially all the drivers just outside the top 12, trying to see if they can get that win to lock themselves in. You can see a lot of names in white near the front. Those are the drivers, a lot of them racing. They're trying to race their way in.
And at this point, there is absolutely nowhere to go. You're in one of these 3 lanes. You're kind of gridlocked at this point. There's not really enough drivers to get a 4th lane at this point.
Sorry, are we at live speed? Because the ticker changed from 10 to 9 to go at turn 4. Now we are. There we go.
Yes, I was trying to get him to that.
almost had flashbacks there. But now we're live, folks.
Don't worry, nothing's changed.
Not a whole lot has changed. Still 3 wide here, but it can change in a moment. If someone makes a mistake, you can easily see someone go around and have a caution to take out a lot of drivers here. We still have a lot of guys going. That first caution did take out a whole lot. I mean, heck, we saw Cameron Hearn arguably take the most hits out of that wreck, and he's running an 8th.
Yeah, still 18 drivers on the lead lap that are in this pack. Everyone else is beaten and battered around the track. You're actually going to come up on lap traffic not too far from now. But there's nowhere to go for them, nowhere to hide. Hearn's looking forward. Don't do that. Not enough room for that.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, there is no room for that, especially now there's
no one's going to try it. That's it.
Okay, he's down to experiment with anything. Big science guy, the 67 of Hearn, but he's behind the top 10 who are still fighting for the lead, except for Mason Kane in the 31. He needs a caution to come out, and then he'll be the free pass car. But at the moment, Rabel holding his own on the bottom, Slaughter in the middle, and then to the outside, trying to get a charge is Jordan Martin as they come across the stripe with 7 to go.
Oh, and some lap cars there on the bottom. David Weishart and Colin Fambro. I think they're just getting down there to stay out of the leader's way. They don't want to interfere with what's going on the track because there's some awesome action going on, and they don't want to be the ones to disrupt it and bring out another caution. Here comes Jordan Martin charging back on that outside lane. Does he have enough momentum to get near the front?
Oh my goodness, Mason. Oh, there they go. Shane Abbey, Greg Mitchell. There it is.
And a big wreck off of turn 3, and the caution will fly again for the second time. Shane Abbey looks like he'll hold on to it actually after.
And Weaver, look out. Holding on to it on the grass as well, but Santo involved. That's going to eliminate him, and that's going to put Mason Kane back on the lead lap.
And Brad Slaughter Jr. importantly gets the lead out of this. This stall started, we'll see on the Super Market replay of Mason Kane right here. Gets out of shape. And Mitchell, just trying to take evasive action, finds Shane Abbey, and then nowhere for Weaver to go.
I don't know if the 17 or the 64 came down into Mason or if Mason got into them, but it looked like Martin might have come down a little bit on the 31 and got him all out of shape.
Yeah, it was definitely contact. Saw on Monday night with Weishart and Knoll. They kind of met in the middle, caused a wreck.
Kane, yeah, so Kane drifted up into 17, and they went 4 wide for a second. 84's trying to get out of it.
That was 5 wide.
Cameron Hearn made it work somehow.
He escapes another one, but it definitely looked to me that the 17 came down a bit. So Shane Abbey kind of got away with that compared to what it could have been. So makes these 17 kind of shift down, and then right there they're 5 wide. It's not going to work.
Travis Beckner going for a wild ride. Santo taking the biggest lick at anyone.
He lost his front bumper in that one.
Right on board with him. Justin Sogak getting doored by him. Bryce Senezak is well involved.
Senezak, I think he's got some front end damage, so it's really going to hurt his day. As well, Santo probably pretty much done. But like I said, Brad Slaughter gets the lead out of this with his guest teammate James Scioli, and then the guys. Then after them, you got 3 guys who need to win: Rabel, Martin, and Bourne right there.
Could not script it any better.
No, you couldn't. Now what do they do? You can't work together because you need to beat them, but also now you got 2 teammates on the front row that could easily control this to the end.
I'll say they're not even teammates. They're
technically, yeah.
Slaughter Sim is Brad Slaughter, Weishart, Simon Fine, and Cameron Hearn. The 7. Trying to look at where he is. He was
DWR.
Just here. Yeah, DWR with Senezak Fambro and Anna Sogak. So those guys kind of have a collaborative effort. Slaughter Sim, who has David Weishart on their team, and David Weishart Racing, who has Scioli on his team. So they've been collabing this whole race. Won't do it for much longer because we're near the end of this one, Finian.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of this, and this actually, it looks like we might get the restart here with 3 to go, in which case we will not using our only attempt at a green-white checker. So effectively, we'll have 2 chances at finishing this race out from here. So this will be interesting to see if we'll get it done on attempt number 1 or attempt number 2. Getting this thing done. But I can tell you, definitely one car to keep an eye on is number 17 of Martin. He's been building up some charges, arguably a little bit too patient in some cases, but I think if he can get a run going, might have a good chance of getting to the front. Chris Rabel's definitely shown that he can hold his own in the front. Tom Bourne also, he appeared out of nowhere. We barely talked about this guy for most of the race, and then near the end here, he just put his nose up near the front and really hasn't lost it since. And you can also probably throw Ryan Swan in that conversation as well in the 20.
Yeah, classic Tom Bourne, kind of just laying low, and then, he's in the top 5. Great. That's just kind of how he's gone, and kind of how he rolls in the area series this season. He's another one who needs to win. He's 16th in points, Rabel 18th in points, Martin 19th in points. And they're really going to really struggle to get track position over the 7 and the 9, but there's going to be a 3rd lane open. One of those 3 are going to have to try to lead that lane.
Boy, if Cameron Hearn can find a way in the victory lane, that would be insane. His whole car was off the ground. His whole car was off the ground, and he still made up a ton of track position, just got through the most recent caution, and is now going to line up inside the top 10 with a shot to win. Also going to have to look out for Mason Kane, who might have to make a super fast charge. He just got the lucky dog. Looks like he's going to be restarting, I want to say 22nd, maybe?
18th, looks like.
18, somewhere around there. We'll see how many other drivers he needs to let by. So Scioli on the apron. I don't think he's good on fuel. He's just doing that. But Mason Kane, yeah, he's gonna have to have an all-time charge to the front to win his way into the playoffs here for sure.
Really interesting thing is if Rabel can't make it on fuel, because he's pushing. It's been 39 laps since he's come down to pit lane. I think he should be good for this restart. Question is, if we go into overtime, he's really going to be pushing it.
Yeah, he's only had, 2 yellows on this tank, and a lot of that's been at the front, so it's not like he's really been saving at all.
No, he's been pushing.
So
That's definitely a question mark there, because if we go into overtime, he might have to come down. I'm sure he's just staying up there hoping that this thing finishes under green, which is a big thing to ask for. There is so much on the line. We've been talking about it all night long, and even now, too, there are a lot of guys up there that really need a win, and will pretty much, at this point, do probably whatever it takes to get that win.
I know I'd be doing whatever it takes. You can't go below that yellow line. We got to look at that. Nothing goes down there, so they got to be aware of that. But you're going to have to, even at a track this big, I think, Hunter, one of those two are going to have to get physical in some way to win this race.
They've been all but physical throughout the first 80 laps of this race, and now we're coming into where you need to get physical. So not an official green-white checker attempt. Going to go green with 3 laps to go. Going to be Scioli and Slaughter on the front row. Here to go, Finian.
Green flag, you see the light lighting up and the flagman waving the flag. We got a green-white checkered coming up here. Can we get it done on this attempt, or will we have to get the caution and the pace car out one more time? We'll see here as they race off into turn 1. Brad Slaughter and Scioli getting hooked up.
Oh, Alex Weaver's around at the back. We're going to go green-white checkered.
That didn't take long.
Okay.
No, it didn't. And now Chris Rabel's in a bad spot. See the sim market replay.
I think this was the best case for him. If it were the caution were to come out immediately, if there was going to be another caution, but there's Weaver. Oh, and Mason Kane. That's unfortunate. Just as he caught the wave around, huge amount of damage to the nose. And there is also Justin Sogek also getting involved again. He also can't catch a break, it seems.
Really looked like the 98 kind of turned right. I'm not sure what happened there, but the 62 just gets turned, and Anasogak kind of got hooked and tried to avoid it. Didn't hit anything, though.
Nope.
Well, wait, almost. Weishart got through there.
All right, well, now we're going to head into overtime.
Yeah.
So much for that.
So much for that. Back up at the lead here. We'll see what Rabel does here, because I can't imagine he's in too comfortable of a place.
That yellow was net code. I was wondering why the 98 shot right. He got net coded from Shane Therian, so that's no EOL there. Nothing malicious there, but yeah, I'd hate to be in Rabel's situation. If you pit here, your chance for the win effectively is out the window. But
Here, I'm shutting the engine off, so I think he's gonna try it.
I mean, at this point, we talked about earlier, what more do you have to lose? No reason not to run the tank out trying to win it. If it works, it works.
I was going to say, I'm thinking, I guess he feels he can at least make it most of the 2 laps.
He might. Well, we saw the finish to Monday night. He might just be trying to get the lead in turn 3 and 4 coming to the white flag. It could be all it takes.
For 2 pixels.
That's clearly all that matters. If only Jacob Bell was his competition, he'd win easily.
Since this will definitely be the last restart, let's take a chance to talk with Brad Slaughter. You can find him in Discord here right before we go back green. Is he even in Discord? Tell me he's not in Discord. There he is, found him.
Yep, there he is. He's all the way down there.
Yeah, let's see. Can I drag him here? Hang on.
No, Finian, you take the mouse, go over his name.
No, I had Brad Slaughter. Oh, we're really high up in the thing. Hang on.
Yes, we are.
It's not letting me actually drag him. Up there we go. I can't reach all the way up there. Hang on. Give me a second here. There we go. He's figured it out. There we go. Hey, Brad, it's Finian from the SimTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, boys?
All right. Well, we figured we'd talk to you here. You've been up near the front for a majority of this race. You've been really enjoying the lead. What's the game plan here? This is going to be the final restart. You're just going to try to block everyone that comes your way, or you're going to plan on working with someone?
I wish I could tell you what I'm going to do. Me and James are sitting here trying to figure it out. I'm going to take the outside here. I don't know how it's going to work for me. I've found just about every way to lose one of these things. So, yeah, I'm going to try to make sure at least either me or James wins this thing. I don't know if I'm going to really be able to put too much of a block on him. I really just want to get us to kind of hold up the 2 lines and try to fend off anybody that gets a run on the outside or something like that and settle it between the 2 of us. But me and James were talking. We always seem to end up in this situation, and neither one of us has been able to close the deal. So we're gonna do our best, but no promises.
All right, we'll see what you got. Also, before we send you back down there, what happened to the cool jacket and the sunglasses? You took it off. We thought we were gonna keep it on.
Well, so these Xfinity cars overheat enough as it is, and with that jacket on, we were really overheating in practice. So as much as I wanted to do it, if I can pull this off here, I'll throw it back on for the Victory Lane interview. But it's just a little too warm in here for the old Budweiser jacket.
I feel that I have a little tiny fan next to me, and it's not really doing a whole lot. It's definitely hot out there. So I'll send you back down, Brad. Good luck.
Appreciate it, boys.
All right, and that's Brad Slaughter. Let him get back to it there in his car in the lead. You can see 32 laps led. I'm going to assume that's the most out of anyone. So second most would probably be this man right here, James Kelly. He's led 10. So can Brad Slaughter seal the deal up in front? And also big question mark, does Chris Ray will have enough fuel because he is on 43 laps. Some of them under cautions, but he's been really stretching that tank.
It's going to be interesting because we heard it right there. You know these two are going to try to sell it amongst themselves, but you got everyone behind them all the way back to, what, Cameron Hearn in 9th? Everyone else needs a win, whether to make the playoffs or just to get some momentum going for a tough season. Ed Robertson, Matthew Cochran, all these guys, Ryan Swan, all these guys are just looking for something to go their way. Swervin Irvin, he's had a horrid season trying to get something going. So you got two guys who are going to try to work together and like 7 or 8 that are going to try to take that away from them.
Yeah, will they even make it to the white flag, though? That's the big question.
That is going to be the big question, and I'm sure Casey Lacadas is hoping none of them win this because as it stands, if Brad or if Brad or James win it, he'll be sitting pretty. If anyone else wins it, they can knock him out of that final point spot. Again, it really also depends on where does everyone else finish in the points. Well, we'll get you those results as soon as this race finishes, which will be in just about 2 laps' time. We're glad you joined us here for the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. 2 laps to go. It'll be a 2-lap shootout. 1 attempt and only attempt at the green-white checkered here. Brad Slaughter leading him down. James Kelly up on the bottom in second place, and a whole bunch of cars in behind trying to see they can get a win, punch their ticket to the playoffs, and are probably willing to do whatever it takes to win this, and whatever it takes might mean bringing out the yellow. We'll see if they can make it back. Pace car will be off. We'll see. It'll be the final time we will see it and see what any of these drivers have planned. This is going to be the money restart for all these guys. Everything, all 85 laps prior to this have led up to this one moment, this final restart of the regular season. What will it be? Through the restart zone they will go, and there they go back on the gas, green flag back in the air.
9 didn't get as big of a jump this time. Still gets ahead of Scioli regardless. George Martin, no push. Bourne gets to the bottom, so Rabel and Bourne are likely going to fly by the 17, but once they get clear, do they pull to the outside?
They might just go to the outside. No, they could help them down the backstretch here, but it's all 9 and 7 up front.
We'll see a little bit sorted out near the back. There is Rabel immediately jumping out. Brad Slaughter going to ditch his friend James Scioli, and there's Rabel going to ditch the 9. Going to be pushed by Jordan Martin up on top.
Tom Bourne's going to get clear here. Where's he going to go on all this? Scioli might have no pusher as they're 3 wide, dropping back hard. Still green. You'd think Bourne wants to get the lead now, but he's still pushing the 7.
Oh, he's eager to go. He's got Robertson behind him, too, also eager to go. They're coming to the white flag. Looks like they're going to make it. One to go here at Talladega.
Here they go. Tom Bourne immediately going to go to the outside lane, trying to get around. James Scioli will pull in front of Brad Slaughter. Here comes Chris Rabel with a huge head full of steam with Jordan Martin in tow on the outside lane. Do they have enough of a run?
There they go!
A huge, massive wreck out of turn 2. James Scioli left, driving in front of the field.
Ryan
Swan and Cameron Hearn trying to charge back to the front.
Cameron Hearn's doing it again, but this time he's got Ryan Swan in front of him. Scioli has no help. Ryan Swan to the lead. Can Cameron Hearn pull it off again?
Well, they're going to have one more chance here, so they're coming into the tri-oval for the final time. Ryan Swan won in season 2, looking for another win. Cameron Hearn, he's going to have a push from Scioli. There they come in the tri-oval for the final time. Scioli to the outside. It's not going to be enough. Ryan Swan will do it once again. He wins at Talladega.
Wow, right at the line. Scioli tried to come back at him, but it wasn't enough. Ryan Swan will walk home the winner here at Talladega with Scioli and Hearn 2nd and 3rd.
How heartbreaking for so many of those drivers who needed the win and couldn't get out of turn 2 cleanly. 2 nights in a row, we wrecked out of turn 2 and wadded him up. And once again, Cameron Hearn somehow snuck his way up there, but Ryan Swan was in between him and victory today.
Looking back at the previous Pro Series races here at Talladega, I have to admit, Season 2 was my favorite. This one might be up there, and it involved with Ryan Swan winning in dramatic fashion in both events. And look at the new HyperX paint scheme with Tim the Tatman on there. Wow, what a job by the 20. Kept it clean all night long, and then at the very end, just navigated through the wreck, got around the 7, and it's all she wrote, Finian.
Definitely was all she wrote. Definitely stick with us. We'll go through quite a few replays of that chaotic finish, but Ryan Swan was looking like he'd be the sitting duck coming towards the trial, was just able to hold off a solid charge from both the 7 and the 67 Scully and Cameron Hearn, and he will be walking home the winner here at Talladega. Going to work his way through the tri-oval and going to definitely enjoy burning this one down. I'm not even sure what position he came across the line, the white flag with. But
trying to check. He was up there. He was 5th. He just somehow withstood the chaos there, and he deserves to do burnouts. You think if Hearn did not have the damage he did, maybe he has a run, but he just had nothing. And then Scioli kind of sealed the deal there, but what a job by Ryan Swan getting there when it mattered.
And I believe he only led 1 lap.
I'm almost positive he only led 1 lap.
he led 2.
Oh,
2.
okay.
Right.
I think the other one might have come from probably green flag pit stops or something, but there you go. 2 laps led. That's all he needed to do. As he will burn it down here, we will go through your finishing results. Ryan Swan taking home a surprising win, holding off James Scully, you can see, by less than 1/10 of a second, half a car length at the line. Cameron Hearn in 3rd place with Ed Robertson, Nick Silver, Jordan Martin rounding out your top 6. Laconish, Terrian, Mitchell, and Travis Beckner rounding out your top 10.
A lot of drivers, heartbreak for them. Jordan Martin so close, couldn't get it done. Jeffrey Wilson recovered to 11th. Tom Boren, heartbreak for him as well, as we go through just outside the top 10. Weaver back to 13th, Irvin 14th. So many drivers here. Almost every driver here was probably in that last lap crash. They took out all but maybe 5 or 6 cars, as Brad Slodwick Jr., the big loser through all that, dominated this race, was top 2 leading the lights all night long, and all he has to show for it is an 18th place, and unfortunately we won't see the jacket tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't see the jacket.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Then we won't see Matthew Bell and Chris Rabel. Won't see them in the booth or in victory lane, especially Rabel. Man, he had a real shot at the end, but caught up in that crash. And then you see the rest of the drivers in the back. Mason Kane did not have the result that he needed. Andrew Santo as well. Boy, oh boy, this is a fun one to sort out, guys. Boy,
There's a lot to sort out, I would say.
Definitely a lot to sort out. And your final page of finishers, Michael Muhammad, Garrett Grant, and John Furnish rounding out your field of 33 drivers. Let's get talking to your 3rd place finisher, Cameron Hearn. Cameron, up at the beginning of the night, it looked like you were one of the guys to beat, along with Brad Sauter and with James Scully. You were charging up on that 3rd line all night long. You were pretty much able to get it work. You were then caught up in a wreck. Seemed like you're out of it, but you almost had a chance there at the end. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, I don't like leading the pack. I get super stressed out and don't want to mess up, and I actually do mess up when I'm out in front of the field. So for me, it's more fun in these restrictor plate races. I'm locked in on the points and stuff with the win and my point situation. So it was all about having fun. And I told I think Paul Irvin and even Justin, as the race went on, I was like, hey, if you want to go up to the front, I'll try to push you, and made it work. But got damage, had like 1.5 minutes of damage. Luckily, it was all in the rear end. Didn't really hurt the car too bad. And then that final wreck, got some front end damage. Really didn't have nothing for Ryan, but Ryan needed a win to be in. So I was glad I could push him. The previous laps before that, give him a good spot. But all in all, fun race, heck of a finish. James came for us, and thought I had second locked up, but he kind of surprised me. Travel snuck in.
Yeah, and looking back there at the end, did you feel like you should have went high, low instead of high on Scully, or do you think you pretty much had no shot at trying to get back past those two?
Yeah, I really wasn't catching Ryan even straight up behind him, and I needed James to push me, and I thought maybe he might push me, but then again, like this one means more for Ryan. He needed to get into the playoffs and stuff, so Me and Ryan been friends for a long time. We were in the same Discord server together, and I told him on the previous caution that I would go wherever he went. I was like, whatever you do, don't leave a hole open because I'm going to go for it. So he did that. We made it through the wreck. Hate it for Brad. Brad was bad fast all night up front, did everything right, still got caught up in other people's stuff. But yeah, congrats to Ryan. I'm glad to see him in victory lane.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, Cameron. It was still a solid finish for you, and not that it mattered for you really needing to get the win coming into tonight, but best of luck to you for the rest of the playoffs.
I appreciate it. Hey, Mom and Dad, love you. Bye.
All right, moving on to our second place finisher, James Scioli. And just when we thought there might be a chance for someone else to be in victory lane, somehow James Scioli almost managed to ike his way back into that spot, but James, it wasn't quite enough. You just had Ryan Swan to beat, but that charge at the end, it was enough of a charge.
Yeah, I was trying. Unfortunately, all my help kind of got taken out in that wreck, so I knew they were going to have a big run. And watching the finish on Tuesday night, it was kind of a similar thing between Brad and Cameron, so I knew I just wanted to be up at the top and try and get a good run down. The front straightaway, the finish line's so far back, so I figured if I could get a good run, I might be able to get him at the line. And then they all started moving up the track and kind of crowding me as they should, and just couldn't quite get Swan there. So it was pretty cool. We were all on the same call, so it was a fun race for sure. And glad we were all able to run up front, and happy for Swan to get that win. I'm starting to think I'll never win a plate race, so unfortunately that seems like my reality, but we'll keep trying.
It might have not won a plate race, but you won 7 other races this season so far. Definitely the dominant driver as we look into the playoffs for this season. You know, obviously with coming in with such momentum, what's the game plan for you as far as trying to get that championship sealed?
I think, we got a lot of playoff points, so it should be, that definitely makes my job a lot easier moving through these rounds, getting to the championship round. So probably honestly start putting in a little bit of practice for that, just so that I feel ready and confident for that race. And then the goal doesn't change each week. Just keep trying to win them all, keep trying to run up front, and just make sure nothing crazy happens that'll take us out of the playoffs.
All right, well, James, congratulations. It wasn't a win, but a solid second place finish. Best of luck for you in your playoff endeavors.
Thanks, guys. Huge shout out to you guys for covering these awesome finishes. We had some good ones this week, and then huge shout out to the admin team for all they do. I know these weeks can be a little stressful for them, so thanks to everything they do. Then huge shout out to Rick's Hot Sauce, code Scioli, $7 off at rickshotsauce.com. Matco Tools, Daniels Candles, Butt Kicker, Chris Sports Cards, and DWR. I think we're still leading the team points there, so looking to carry some good momentum into the playoffs.
Indeed. Well, James, thanks for talking to us. Let's head on now to the man who won this race, Ryan Swan, coming home after the dust settled to just ike his way into victory lane. Ryan, we were talking about it. You only ended up leading 2 laps, but obviously you don't care because you ended up taking home the victory. Walk us through how you managed to make it through that crazy last lap wreck.
Yeah, it was chaotic. I seen a couple guys up front that I thought were going to stir up the field a little bit, and it worked out in our favor. Looks like kind of just the seas parted to the outside, dropped low, and it was me, Cameron, and Scioli out front, so it was a good race to the checkered flag there. He gave me a heck of a shot down the back straightaway, and we just kind of kept our foot in it, made the move on James, and you couldn't have passed me with a Ferrari at that point. So
yeah, definitely a great win for you, Ryan. Unfortunately, it looks like you weren't able to get your way into the playoffs because you're outside the top 20, but what does this win mean for you, at least for the rest of your season?
Well, yeah, I cut my Xfinity season off just a little bit. It's a little bit too short. Quit about halfway through the season. I've had a really rough season throughout the whole 3 series. So this helps me get back on track. You get some of those moments throughout the season where you see bad performances, you doubt yourself, all that stuff. But yeah, it feels like I can always rely on Talladega because. Just been a bright spot. I had a win earlier in the season. I feel like taken from me at Michigan in the trucks with an early caution, but it's definitely a confidence booster getting this one. And, we got this cool HyperX scheme with the Tim the Tap Man. He's got a line of like computer gear and stuff, headphones and keyboard. Elwood Designs. Gonna be a pretty sick look for this week. So I'm glad we got the win in it.
All right, Ryan. Well, again, solid. Nice to get a solid win. Give yourself a little bit of a confidence boost. Definitely earned it, and a great livery as well. So thanks for talking to us, and congratulations on your victory.
Yep, real quick, HyperX, thanks to them. Rick's Hot Sauce, Elwood Designs, like I said. Roderick Ware Racing on Tuesdays, Jacob Bell Racing on Mondays, Simrap Market. The sponsors, obviously, Florida State Builders for this series. Rick's Hot Sauce, they're big. Just you guys do an awesome job. I'm sure the call on this race was insane. So I can't wait to watch it, and let's go next week to Chicago.
All right, Ryan, thanks for talking to us.
Yep.
And with that will wrap up interviews here. And with that, let's try to go through a replay here and find out how on earth this race finished the way it did. Really, all starting with that wreck off into turn 2.
Yeah, a lot happened there. We saw beating and banging all the way across the start-finish line, really, with Ed Robertson, Brad Slaughter Jr., and others. And then the wreck happened at a turn 2. It almost looked like Ed Robertson came up the track off the apron and caused all of that. So definitely try to sort all that out and try to sort out what the playoff feature is, as you'll get the replay here. Yeah, Robertson left sides below the yellow line, and that's what really set that off. Also, Matthew Cochran, I think, had a separate incident that started at the same time, and these were the only 4 or 5 who got through it, Hunter.
Yeah, somehow Ed Robertson made it through out of that, and you can see the 20 and the 67. There's Swan and Hearn. First and third is where they'd finish, but they were just chilling on the bottom, and fortunately everyone else behind him got caught up in that wreck. And when it was all said and done, they made the move and into turn 3. And that's proved out to be the race-winning move, but not the night that Chris Rabel wanted to end, at least not on that note.
Yeah, riding on board with him. This is what Rabel saw. Just nothing but wall and then the sky and a whole bunch of carnage after the fact.
Yeah, a lot of carnage, to say the least. And plenty of drivers probably not happy with the way it finishes. This will be probably the best view you'll see of it. Just chaos ensues at a turn 2. Rabel, wow, he really ricocheted off the saber barriers. Here comes everyone else to the scene, full throttling, trying to get spots. As look at the graveyard below the yellow line on the back straightaway.
Yeah, just look at Brad Slaughter. He was not a happy camper. We talked about him. He was talking about how he's never been able to quite seal a deal on this, and I'm sure there's just frustration due to how much luck's involved in this. And just couldn't quite make it through. And then up near the front, let's take a look and see how this ended up playing. You can see right there, Ryan Swan with some help from Cameron Hearn got past James Scowley heading into turn 3. So literally in the last 2 corners is where he made it past. And then obviously we're riding on board with Ryan Swan here, and then James Scowley trying to make a charge there at the end.
Yeah, I really think if the 67 wasn't damaged, he could have made a better charge for the win. But like he said, he was committed to Swan, and Skyley had no damage. He had the big run, but just too much ground to make up at that point, and the door from the 67 didn't help. Swan covers the top just in time.
Wow, what a race, guys. What a week of racing here at Talladega, and that's how close the finish was. You can see in the super slow-mo, Hearn hesitant on making the block, makes a little contact with the 7 of Skyoli, and that's all she wrote there for Ryan Swan to bring it home in the victory lane. But, guys, we got 5 more weeks of racing, and it's playoff time. We're going to Chicago. I am so pumped for this. And here's your photo finish cam, Connor.
Finally got good use of it right there, and a few close finishes at the front there. And yes, those 5 were the only ones who survived. Nick Silva rounded them out as absolutely wild stuff across the line into the finish. Incredible week, like you said, Hunter. It was awesome. Drama in all 3 series in different ways as well. 3 completely different finishes besides turn 2, the chaos in turn 2. Had a little bit of a different finish out of 4 this time compared to Tuesday.
Yeah, indeed, it's not done yet. The season is really, or in some ways, just getting started. The race for the championship is officially on now for the next few rounds. Next week, we'll be heading to Chicagoland, as well as all 3 of the other series. So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday will be at Chicagoland for the kickoff for the Season 4 area playoffs. But for tonight, my name is Finny DeCuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sluppy from Talladega. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.